Oke, assalamualaikum. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. So next, continue. We're going to discuss about the training and developments, and the journal is about the impact of employee perceptions of training on organizational commitments and turnover intentions. It is an empirical studies of nurses in Jordanian hospitals, an empirical study of nurses in Jordanian hospitals. And introductions. The creating and sustaining competitive advantage is the ultimate goal of business organization. To achieve this goal, organizations need to invest an valuable asset effectively, according to Alamri and Al-Duhaim 2017 and Al-Rawash 2018. An investment in human resource practice is a great source of competitive advantage. And the training process can be used as an example of human resource practice that contributes to gaining advantage over competitors. It is defined as a systematic process that provides employees with the required knowledge, skills, and expertise to perform their job successfully. The significance of training is rapidly growing, and firms are adopting this strategy to compete with their competitors in the market. There is a meaningful debate among scholars and professionals that continue. Okay, continue. According to Alamri and Al-Duhaim 2017, there is a meaningful debate among scholars and professionals that training has an effective influence on organizational commitments, and summarize that the offering of intensive training programs by organizations may lead to motivated, talented, and committed employees. And then nevertheless, high turnover rates of nurses is an ongoing problem for healthcare organizations in Jordan, as well as many other countries all over the world. In an exploratory study, according to Hayati 2009, summarized that the overall turnover rate among registered nurses in Jordanian hospital is 38%, 36%, and the job turnover has the high associated cost of selections, recruitments, and training. And it's about the hypothesis. The first hypothesis is that there's positive relationship between perceived availability of training and organizational commitments. And the hypothesis two, there is a positive relationship between perceived supervisor support for training and organizational commitments. And the third hypothesis, there is a positive relationship between perceived benefits of training and organizational commitment. And the last one is there's negative relationship between organizational commitment and turnover intention. In this case, the employee the employee perceptions decided are in three aspects: the perceived availability of training, the perceived supervisor support for training, and the perceived benefits of training. And the methodology, first the procedure and sample. A survey questionnaire was used to gather data from hypothesis testing from employees working in public and private hospital in Jordan. The respondents in the study are full-time nurses working in managerial and non-managerial positions in Jordanian hospitals, and proportionate sampling was used whereby a survey questionnaire was distributed in proportion to a number of staff nurses in each hospital via email sent to the head of departments. A total of 500 questionnaires were distributed, and the items used in the study were adopted from previously published studies, and this item provided a value source of data gathering and measurement as their reliability and validity have been verified through process research and peer reviews. And all responses were measured on a 5-point Likert scale, and the data were analyzed through descriptive statistical methods with mean, standard deviations, percentage, percent correlations coefficient, t-tests, and regressions performed by statistical package for the social science. And the results, if you can see here in the table 4, the mean score and the standard deviations for the study variables in the table 4 are 3.16 for perceived availability of training, and the standard deviations are 0.64. and 33.36 for perceived supervisor support for training and the standard deviation or 0.68 and 3.44 for perceived benefits of training and 3.01 for organizational commitments and 2.95 for turnover intentions, and then the mean score and the standard deviation reflect conformity of the respondents' perceptions of these items. And in this table 5 indicates that there is positive correlations between organizational commitment and two types of employee perceptions of training, the perceived affability of training and perceived supervisor support for training as the P are 0.680 and 0.662, and respectively it is smaller than 0.50, and there's no correlation between organizational commitments and the third type of employee perceptions of training, the perceived benefits of training as the PR 0.196 is below, it is below than 0.50. Also, there's no correlations between turnover intentions and impact organizational commitments as the PR below 0.50, and to test the correlations of employee perceptions of training types. And and then hypothesis testing in this table indicating that there is significant relationship between perceived affability of training and organizational commitments at the significant level related to the T values is less than 0.05, suggesting the presence of the relationship. And the H2, the T values as in the table 6 is 2.457, which indicates that there is significant relationship between perceived supervisor support for training and organizational commitments at the significant level of 0.035. Related to the three values is less than 0.05, suggesting the presence of the relationship. And the hypothesis 3, the T values as in the table 6 is 0.40 405, which implies that there is an insignificant relationship between perceived benefits of training and organizational commitment. And then the hypothesis 4, the T values as in the table 6 is 2.616, which implies that there is an insignificant relationship between organizational commitments and turnover intention. And then the limitations and suggestions for this research are first, there are only 3 employee perceptions of training are investigated in this study to include the perceived availability of training, the perceived supervisor support for training, and perceived benefits of training. Second, the study used a quantitative approach. The future study may conduct interview to examine the relationship between the variables. And third, our data came from registered nurses working in hospital in a single industry. To increase the generalizability of the findings, there is a need of future research in other industries in Jordan. And the conclusions in the study of hospital in Jordan will attempt to investigate the impact of employee perceptions of training on organizational commitment and consequently the impact of organizational commitment on turnover intentions. A strong relationship is established between two variables, the perceived availability of training and the perceived supervisor support for training with organizational commitment. Nonetheless, contrary to expectations, perceived benefits of training is negatively related to organizational commitments, and our study also confirmed strong inverse association between organizational commitments and turnover intentions, and these study results are consistent with prior studies conducted in Asian countries such as China and Malaysia, and these results imply that Jordanian hospitals should actively apply effective training programs to increase commitment of nurses to the organizations, which in turn can result in reductions of their turnover intentions that will eventually contribute to patient satisfaction through the continuity of nursing care and the diversions of greater efforts and provisions of high quality healthcare service. So I think that was the last slide for this presentations. Thank you so much for your attention.